Today's topic is about yachting. What sparked your interest to get into sailing?
And it happened a little bit by accident. My coworkers at my first job, they'd all registered for a sailing class before I arrived in Korea. And then the day before the sailing class, one of them was sick. So I just took my coworker's spot. I'd never thought about sailing, really. And I really liked it, so I immediately just started sailing almost every weekend.
I'm gonna take you on a ride. We're gonna burn through the night. Why you're so salty? I'll still take a bite.
Okay, we can take my Lambo. I'll put on a tight show. You sure you can handle? We be faster than Django.
I'm gonna take you on a ride. We're gonna burn through the night. Why you're so salty? I'll still take a bite.
We can take my Lambo. I'll put on a
Chris,
tight show.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Could you please tell the viewers a little bit about your home country and where you're from?
So I'm half Belgian, half British, but I grew up moving around a lot. So I lived in Nigeria, Oman, Belgium, France, India, in the USA for a while. Busan was the first time I've lived actually right next to the ocean. So my first class, my beginner course was in April 2008, so 12 years.
What are your thoughts about the hobby of sailing in Korea?
I think too many people think that it's a real luxury sport when really it doesn't have to be. Boats are not as expensive as a lot of people might think. So it's unfortunate that there's not more sailors. Then the other thing I think that's slightly holding the sport back is for a long time there were very few marinas in Korea. So I think this marina here has a 4 or 5 year waiting list to get a spot, so that makes things a little complicated.
Do you prefer the true feeling of sailing, no engine and just a sail?
In Busan there's usually at least a little bit of wind. So this boat is so small I don't really need an engine. I can just sail in and out.
I see.
We do own an engine, but it's been broken basically since I got the boat.
I gotcha.
I never really wanted to or needed to fix it.
Yeah.
And then if there's really no wind, I keep 2 little paddles inside so we get to exercise a little bit.
Have you ever been stuck before?
Sometimes we're stuck just right here in the slip because there's all the boats. So sometimes just these last 100 meters, there's no wind.
Yeah.
So then we just slowly paddle in.
I see. But not a big deal.
No. Busan, we're lucky. There's some summer days where there's really no wind. But otherwise, we check the forecast, and if the wind looks really light, then we just don't go that day. We'll go another day.
Overall, would you say Busan is ideal for sailing?
Yeah. Yeah. I think in Korea it has some of the best winds. Also, in terms of navigation, it's very easy. There's not really any, once you're out there, there's not really any hidden obstacles. You don't have to avoid that hidden rock or something like that. It's just a nice wide open bay with wind, so it's nice.
If somebody wants to get into sailing, where should they start?
I think most of the best sailors in the world started on dinghies. So I always recommend that people sail on little dinghy boats first.
The solo sailing?
Yeah, just solo on a little boat where you're down on the water, how to feel a boat and what every little thing does.
I've actually heard our friend Chris here has 3 different kinds of boats. Which boat do you sail the most?
One is a laser, which can flip upside down. When it gets really cold, it's not that fun to sail. You get really wet. And my other one, the Nacra 20, it's extremely fast.
Yeah.
If the wind starts blowing, there's no way to slow it down.
I see.
So I always need to sail that one with people who are good at sailing. Yeah, it's a little stressful, can be dangerous if you're not careful. So I end up sailing the one that we're on here the most, the Open 5.7. It's also the least stressful. This one is a lot more. It's still a fast boat.
Yeah.
It's still an exciting boat, but it's not going to flip.
If this boat were to take on a lot of water, would it still be safe?
So there's 2 nice safety things on this boat. One is that it's technically designed to not sink, even if it fills with water, basically fiberglass and foam. It's designed to just not sink when it's full of water. And also this boat has a surprisingly deep keel, surprisingly deep with I don't know how much, there's lead at the bottom, maybe 200 or 300 kilos of lead at the bottom.
I gotcha.
So it's designed that it can't flip over. The keel is so heavy compared to the boat that it'll come back up.
Well, I'm curious, do you usually prefer to take a crew when you go out sailing, or do you like to go out solo?
So with this boat, I need a crew.
You need a crew.
I need at least one person. When it's raced professionally, like in Europe, there's a lot of racing on these boats. Then they're a crew of 3 usually.
I see.
But if you're just going out for fun, I mean, it's a small boat, but there's quite a lot of space. So you can go out with 4 people, 5 people. It's still comfortable.
All right. Well, if you would let me come sailing with you someday, that would be awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe one of our viewers as well. Or maybe 2.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or 3.
We need me plus someone who knows how to sail. And then 2 or 3 others is fine.
Okay, awesome. You heard it. All right, well, Chris, thank you so much. And now let's go ahead and move on to our yacht introductions. So I'm really curious to learn more about your boats.